This is going to be interesting. How are you?
I am very well, and you?
Yeah,
Jack?
very good. Thank you very much.
Yeah. You're stepping into the hot seat today.
We've not got Chris today. He will be back next week, but I've been subbed in off the bench.
Yeah. You made the lineup today.
Made the lineup, but there is so much happening in the world of football. We have to do an episode. It's as simple as that.
We have to, yeah. Chris is still in Scotland. He's still drinking all the beers in the bars and eating all the turkeys for Christmas and New Year's. But hopefully we'll have him back pretty soon for the next episode. And of course, it's New Year. And Happy New Year to everyone. And we keep pushing. We keep going. The Obi-Wan podcast, made possible by BetWinner. We keep pushing. We keep growing. And thank you to all our fans who've been watching, who've been tuning in. And, you know, we just keep producing some big guests. And, hopefully we can do it again this year.
Should we get stuck in right away?
Let's go, Jack.
There is only one place to start, really, and that is your club.
Yeah.
Enzo Maresca was a surprise. Looking back, wasn't really a surprise. You could see it coming. How do you reflect now that you've had some time to sort of process that?
Listen, it's a shambles what's going on at the football club, isn't it? It's it's crazy. But listen, Enzo Maresca was a fantastic coach for us, fantastic manager, coach, obviously, not a manager anymore. Nowadays, is coach. But listen, Enzo was a fantastic coach for Chelsea Football Club. Successful, did really well. Won the Club World Cup, won a couple of trophies. And it's a shame for me to see him go. I was a big Enzo fan. I like what he did with the football, with the team, with the players that he has.
The players seem to be on side with him.
The players absolutely love him. The players absolutely love him. You can tell when players are playing for the manager, when the players are fighting for the manager and playing and trying to do exactly what the manager wants them to do. And I think that's what's happened here. But I think when you come out as a coach and you make that statement saying it was the worst 48 hours of your time here since taking over at the football club, then you're setting yourself up for a sack. And that's exactly what happened. I just think he couldn't come back from that. And of course, when results are not going your way as well, and then you come out and make that statement, I just think, it was an accident waiting to happen. But I really like Enzo Maresca. I thought he would have been given more time. When the club signed all these young players, and they bring in all these young players, they signed the young talented players with potential and all, and they bring in these young managers to manage, to coach these young talented players, is to bring out the best out of them, to coach them, to bring out the best out of them, to nurture them, to grow with this team. And I thought that Enzo was going to be given that time to do that. We've seen the likes of Pochettino come in, Graham Potter come in, and they've been sacked as well. So if you bring in all these young, talented players, you need a manager that will grow with them. I can understand the club doesn't want to go again anymore with the, let's say, proven managers like we used to have, the Carlo Ancelottis, the José Mourinhos as well, the Gus Hiddink, the Scolaris that we used to have back in the day, top managers, World Cup managers. The club has decided to go in a different way. Young players, young manager. So why are you chopping and changing? Why are you chopping and changing every 1 year, 15 months, 18 months? It doesn't help anyone. And of course, when you have all these young players and you keep chopping and changing and bringing new managers every time, it doesn't help their development. It doesn't help them growing as players. It doesn't help them improving as players. It just disrupts the whole thing that we're doing. I talked about it. I said that we're growing as a team. We are going in the right direction with Enzo Maresca. On the pitch, we're growing very, very well. I can see the signs of us improving, the signs of us having an identity of how we want to play, where the vision of where Enzo Maresca wants to take this team, the way we want to play. I can see that because we're winning games. We're getting results. Yes, from November to December, we didn't win games. We won 1-7 or 1-8. Not good enough. I can understand that.
Which you spoke about in depth, about how
exactly.
that festive period is where you win the title, get into the Champions League. That's
exactly. The festive period is always the most difficult period in the Premier League. And I said that so many times. The past couple of seasons, I've been saying that here on this podcast, that this is where you win and you lose the Premier League. This is where you lose the top four. If you're not picking up points in the festive period, it's the most demanding schedule. The schedule is so demanding. You're playing every 2-3 days. It's very, very difficult. And as well, when you have these young players, it's about mentality. It's about who wants it more in this festive period. How much do you want it? Do I want it more than my opponent? Do I want it more than my rivalry? It's about how much points you pick up. And we failed. Last season we failed. This season we failed in this festive schedule period, which is so demanding. And I feel for Enzo. I feel for Enzo because when I look at it, again, it comes down to leadership. It comes down to experience. Players that will pick the players up during this festive period say, listen, we have to go now. This is the time where we have to win the Premier League. This is the time where we can lose the Premier League. So we have to be mentally at it. That's where you need experienced players. That's why we're crying for a couple of experienced players to come into the squad and help this young team. We have a fantastic team, but you can tell that the experience is not there. And of course, that leads to the inconsistency that we've seen throughout the season, especially throughout this festive period, the inconsistency. And I just thought that Enzo Maresca wasn't given enough time. I like what he's done with the club, with the players on the pitch. I enjoy watching us play. It's been a long time that I enjoy watching us play, but Enzo has brought back that good feeling of how we play, how we approach games. But my only criticism with Enzo was just too much change in rotation, that he does way too much, that the fans were not happy about.
But has it not become clear now that them changes might not necessarily have come from 100%?
Exactly. So we have to come to that as well. You know, this return to play department or whatever the fuck they call. Honestly, I don't get it. But this is where we used to have problems before. Back in the day when it was managers, not coaches, managers. José Mourinho again, I mentioned. Carlo Ancelotti, Scolari, Gus Hiddink, Roberto Di Matteo. These guys managed the team. They managed what happened on the pitch. When you have a return to play department, so they call, you have an injured player. What used to happen back in the day, when we're injured, when we get injured, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, we're out. And then you're about to come back to play. You're about to come back to train with the squad. You have about a week to train with a physio on the sideline. You do that on your own. And then after doing that, you pass that test, then you come to train with the squad. And then what it is when you come back to train with the squad, it's just about how do you deal with the physical contact? How do you deal with the intensity of training? If you can be able to manage that and come through that in a week or two, that's it. You're ready to play. And Mourinho takes over from there. Carlo Ancelotti takes over from there. You don't have somebody calling them from upstairs saying, oh, you have to play John Terry for 60 minutes and you take him off. Fuck that. They're not going to listen to you. And Mourinho will not listen to you, especially when you have to win games, especially when you have to compete to win trophies, to be there. You know, you have these people upstairs now, this medical team, and they just want to think they know it, they know everything. When a player is back and he's trained for 1-2 weeks with the squad, that's it, he's ready to play. He's ready to play. Yes, you can take, it's up to the manager right now then to decide, you know what? We're winning the game. Oh, I can see he's struggling. You know, after 60, 70 minutes, he's struggling. But if a player is still playing and he's fresh, he still wants to continue, the manager lets him play. The manager decides. If you're 2-3-0 up, the manager, okay, you know what? Thank you very much. You've come back to the squad. We're 3-0 up. There's no point of me leaving you out there. You know what I mean? Now you can come out. But if a manager wants to keep you on the pitch, the manager decides. So for me, all this return to play department, for me, it's all bullshit. Honestly, it's all bullshit. But I can understand right now with the data, with all this science, what they call them, they have a say on how much the players who get injured plays, or what is gonna happen next? Soon it's gonna be like you have these guys on the pitch telling the manager how to play.
It feels
it's
like
ridiculous.
A very heightened example of managers not having the control that they used to have. But it's across the board now that managers don't, like you said, their coaches, they don't have that level of control over the playing squad.
They don't. But again, it comes down to the manager. It comes down to the top manager you have. I can make an example right now. You have Cole Palmer who came back. He's played 2-3 games, and you've taken him off in all those games. And we have Manchester City, Rodri, who came back. First game didn't play. I can understand that. Second game, played 45 minutes. Next game, what happened against Chelsea? He played the whole 90 minutes.
Of course.
The whole 90 minutes. And he hasn't played for almost what? He's been suffering with this injury for almost a year. Pep didn't have to deal with that.
Of course.
Department, because he is the manager, he is the boss. He decides what happens on the pitch. That's where when you pick the managers, these clubs now, these owners, they pick and choose the managers that they can control, that they can manipulate, that they can tell what to do. But you can tell a Pep Guardiola what to do. You can't tell a Jose Mourinho what to do. You can't tell a Gus Hiddink what to do, because those guys they control, and they want to be in charge of what happens on the pitch, which is the most important thing for any coach and any manager. Any manager will be frustrated. I understand where Enzo Maresca is coming from. At some point, he got really, really frustrated because he's making those changes and the fans are sitting there booing and screaming. You don't know what you're doing, not knowing that his hands were tied. It's not his fault. He couldn't do anything about it because he has somebody calling from upstairs, return to play department, saying, take Cole Palmer off after 60 minutes. And the manager is sitting there thinking, you know what? Why not? I'll do it. Otherwise, I get the sack. And the fans are sitting there not knowing what's been going on and singing and criticizing the manager. You don't know what you're doing, and booing the manager. At some point, you're going to be like, fuck this. I can't take this anymore. And that's what's happened. The managers come out and say, you know what? I can't deal with this anymore. I'm going to resign. I'm going to resign. And that's exactly what happened.
You've got that pressure from the crowd, game in, game out. You've then got press conferences throughout the week. All of the media. Is that not where your owners step in and support your manager at that point?
But they never come out. They push you in the front, they throw you under the bus, and they just sit there because all they think about is the profit that they make from the plays. That's all they care about. That's all they care about. If the manager is getting booed, if the manager is getting criticized, how many times have you seen them come out and say, you know what, it was our decision to tell the manager to take Cole Palmer off? None of them is going to come out and say that because, of course, the fans are going to turn on them. But no, they decide to sit behind and let the manager take the criticism, which is fine. But let the manager decide. If you want the manager to take all the blames, all the criticism of what happens on the pitch, let him decide. And then at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, then you can fire him. But my question right now with our football club, with Chelsea, I want to know, what is the objective? What is our objective right now? Where are we looking to go? Because before, back in the day when I was there, when we were there, our priority was winning. What happens on the pitch? Winning. Winning trophies. Competing to win trophies. The culture of the football club. I always mention that the culture of the football club has to always remain. Barcelona has that. Real Madrid has that. Man City has that. Manchester United back in the day have that. Arsenal don't have that because they don't win trophies. But the culture that we have, it's about winning. So what I'm saying is our objective has changed from the priority being winning, what happens on the pitch, to now the buying and selling of these young players. That's what it's about. That is what it's about right now. It's about the buying and developing this young talent, giving them 6, 7, 8 years contract and selling them off in 4 or 5 years and making profit. But if you want to do that, you still have to win trophies. Because don't forget, the man who used to own the football club, who ran the football club for so many years, who made the football club what it is today, put his money where his mouth was. Where his mouth is. He won trophies. He invested in the football club. Not just money, his time, his energy. He felt the fans. He was there with the fans. The best thing any owners can do is to feel the temperature of the fans. You have to. You have to feel the temperature of your fans when it's cold, when they're happy, when they're celebrating, when it's sad. Because it will be sad at some point. You need the owners that will feel that temperature, not the owners that just sit and just think about the profit. That's why Roman ran the football club the way he did. He was always there. He was there with the fans. He spent money. He invested with the fans. Whatever they needed, he gave them. He listened to the fans. When we wanted to join the so-called Super League, when the fans spoke, what did he say? He said, fuck that. That's the owner that you need. That's the owner that wants to see the club succeed. Now, these guys have spent money. There's no question about that. But are they spending money for us to win trophies, or are they spending money for them to make profit in future? You can do that. But at the same time, you have to maintain the culture of the football club, which is competing and winning trophies. And so far, right now, we're not doing it. And Enzo Maresca has taken that blame. And now he's been fired again. Now we brought in another manager. It's a shambles what's going on.
I almost see Chelsea as, it's two separate. clubs. The era that you played in, that was about winning. That was relentless in a new manager. If he's not performing, he's gone. New players not performing, they're gone. Is it fair to compare? Because it's a completely different project to what they're trying to achieve now to what you were trying to achieve in your career.
But the problem, the fact, back then, I know we say we used to chop and change managers, but those managers won trophies. The problem is when you stop winning, then you get fired, which is fair enough, because that's what Roman did. Mourinho won trophies. José won trophies. Conte won trophies. Who against, they all won trophies. But when you stop winning with Roman, because he loves the football club so much that he wants to see us, the only thing that he wants to see us do is win. At the end of the year, we are celebrating. We're celebrating with him, the fans, and everybody. He wants to see the fans happy, because the only thing that makes the fans happy is to see the club going in the right direction and winning trophies. And Roman used to love to see that come the end of the season. So when you stop winning, he gives you a bit of time. If you can't change it, if you can't turn it around, that's when you get fired. But he always brought the managers that suits the dressing room that we had, which is the ego, the top players, the names. The manager that can come in and manage that dressing room, because it wasn't easy.
Well, you had a team full of captains.
Exactly. We had a team full of captains, exactly. International players, national team captains. We had it all. And that's why Roman had to bring in top managers that can come in and deal with that. So right now, I want to see where do we go from here? What is the objective? Because if you keep bringing in these inexperienced managers to manage these inexperienced players, there is a ceiling to what we can achieve. There is a ceiling to what we can achieve. These young managers can take us as far as they can. But can they take us to cross the line? Can they take us to start competing, winning the Premier League and the Champions League, which is the priority of the football club? The League Cup, the FA Cup is not really what we want to win. So there is a ceiling to what we can achieve with these inexperienced players, with also inexperienced players. So the owners need to understand that. And one thing I also need to say about Enzo Maresca, that you brought in these young players and you say, here you go, coach these players, bring the best out of these players, nurture these young talented players, inexperienced players, not ready-made players for the Premier League, which is the most difficult league in the world. The most difficult league in the world. And you've given him such inexperienced, young, but lots of talent, lots of potential players. And you've asked him to coach and bring the best out of them. And in the midst of doing that, he has to compete to win the Premier League. It takes time to nurture, to coach, to bring the best out of these young, talented players, to grow with them, to make them understand that this is the most difficult league in the world. And on top of that, he was competing, and he won 2 trophies. The Club World Cup, and of course, the Conference League, which wasn't...
It's a trophy that you...
We were there, but we had to win it, and he won it. 2 trophies. In the midst of controlling these young, inexperienced players, knowing what, again, the social media world of today, what the distraction that is around these young players, but he's managed to coach and bring the best out of them, and he's won trophies. So massive, massive credit to Enzo Maresca. I'm a huge, huge fan. And I think the owners will look back at this and say, you know what? We've made a massive mistake here. Because for me, Enzo Maresca, if he got a bit more time, and yes, he won 2 trophies, it's like any job. When you employ somebody and they start doing well, what do? You give them promotion, right? So if you've told Enzo Maresca and say, listen, you're the coach, you don't have any say on players, what happens, your job is to coach. But now he's won trophies. If he's come back to you and said, you know what, I demand a little bit of flexibility here, because I want to bring in the players that I want. I want to make sure that I can call some shots and say, I want this player. I want some experienced players. Give him that, because it's ended.
He hadn't even had the ability to play the players that he wanted to play that was in the playing squad.
Exactly.
Let alone bring in his own.
Exactly. So what the manager wanted was a couple of players, experienced players, they can come in and help the squad. And that's what's led to him getting fired. So for me, it's a shambles what's happening. But I hope We can still continue to support the team, continue to support the squad because there's still an awful lot to play for. We're still in the Champions League. The Premier League is still there. We're still in the League Cup quarterfinals, semifinals. So there's a lot to play for. And we can support the new manager and support the squad and support the team. That's all we have to do. But again, questions has to be asked. What is the objective of Chelsea Football Club right now? Because what the Chelsea Football Club that I used to know, our priority, number one priority, is winning. What happens on the football pitch? Not the buying and selling and making profit of the players.
Liam Rosenior, it feels to me like everything that you just said there that Enzo is going to have to compete with, Liam's going to have to compete with as well. He's coming into a massive club. You've said it, an inexperienced playing squad. He's going to have to deal with that medical team, picking and choosing when he can play players. He's a difficult board. He's going to have to deal with a fan base that are unhappy at the moment. Now, that's not directed at him, but he's got a hell of a lot to cope with.
Exactly.
It's a huge job for him to come in and try and make an impact and get you to where, you see Chelsea competing.
It's a massive, massive job for him. Listen, I am the opinion of giving people opportunities. I am all for that. But at the same time, don't just give people jobs because you want to. You give people jobs because they earned it, because the CV, their criteria for that job match what you want and the football club that you bring in them to manage. Now, does his CV match what the football club that he's coming to manage? Definitely no. Because he hasn't managed any top football club. He hasn't even learned, he hasn't been assistant to any top football club. I can understand when you become an assistant for so many years, like Mikel Arteta. For so many years, then you get a job. I can understand that. Time. He was never in a top club. It was a Hull, it was a Derby.
Yep, Strasbourg now.
Strasbourg.
Yep.
It's a different ball game. A whole different ball game. This is Chelsea Football Club. This is one of the biggest club in the world. You come in, you bring in a manager that has no experience at all. From what I've heard, yes, he's a brilliant coach. He's a brilliant young coach. He can coach and bring the best out of players. That I've heard, that he's good in terms of coaching. But you are coaching a Strasbourg team and a Hull team and a Derby team. This is Chelsea Football Club. You're talking about walking in and managing a World Cup winner in Enzo Fernandez, Caicedo, Cole Palmer. These are the players that he needs to manage. And at the same time, you've just said it there. He has to manage the fans. The fans are not happy right now with what's going on at the football club. How does he deal with that? What is going to be the reaction towards him with the fans? How does he win the fans? How does he bring the fans with him? Because you need that. You need to carry the fans along with you. And if those fans are not happy, it doesn't matter what you do. Once you lose 1 or 2 games, they're going to turn on you straight away. And he has the job of doing that, managing the squad, what happens on the pitch, and dealing with the fans. He has to deal with that. It's a huge job for him. It's a massive job. Can he be able to do it? Is he the manager that's coming right now again and he's going to be the manager that they can manipulate and tell exactly what to do? Of course, that's what it is. Of course, he can say as much as he wants to say that he's not. 1,000%, he is that guy that they will tell him exactly what to do. There's no question about it. Enzo Maresca was the same. They're all the same, these coaches, these young coaches, because they know exactly what they're signing up for. They know exactly what they're signing up for. But when they look at it, it's a huge opportunity for them to turn down. I get that. But they have no say on what happens at the football club. Make no mistake about that. And it's the same with Liam Rosenior. So I know he's a young coach, but he's also, again, another thing is, opportunity being given to a black young manager, which is good, but that doesn't qualify you to get a job like that. If you're trying to break whatever barriers you're trying to break, Chelsea Football Club, and look good, for me, that doesn't qualify you to get a massive club get a massive job like that. So, it's just a mess what's going on at the football club, and I just hope that at some point, at some stage, we just get it right. We get it right. I like the fact that the black manager is getting an opportunity to showcase his talent, because a lot of black managers, I think, deserve to get opportunities. And it's nice to see one has get opportunity to manage in the highest level, one of the biggest club in the world. And I hope he does well. I support him. I hope he does well. I hope he comes in and does really well and shut all the critics, because he has to perform. He has to win trophies. He's been given six years contract. He has to win trophies. He has to win games. At least for the first 2-3 seasons, he has to win games. Now I was talking about us winning trophies, probably start winning trophies in a year or two. Now we push that back.
It's constantly a year or two. It's this constant, this project that you talk about, and you've invested in this playing squad, which is, like you said, full of talent. But you're now at a stage where, if you look back at the last 3-4 years, the managers that you're going through, the Premier League is full of young managers.
Yeah.
You could talk about some unbelievable. There's a difference in managing them top 6 clubs.
Yeah.
There just is. And I wonder if we get to a stage at some point where your Contes, your Josés, your Tuchels, they might be difficult, during their career and probably tough to manage. But do them clubs need that sort of statesman-like man manager that comes in and leads, rather than these sort of young? I've not seen it work yet. Arteta maybe, but he's been given the time. I've yet to see a young manager go and deliver at a top club.
No, you're right. They need time. Every young manager needs time. Arteta needed time. Now he has the best club in the world, in Europe. But he's had time to deal with that, and he's had money. He's had backing of the football club. They've given him money to spend, and he's built a brilliant, fantastic squad. So he's had time. Every young manager, yes, need time. And when they come into the Premier League, which is the most difficult league in the world, they need time, especially also when they have a young, very, very young squad. They need time. And that's where my question comes in. What is our objective? Chopping and changing all these managers. What are we trying to achieve? Pochettino's come in, he was gone. Graham Potter come in, he's gone. And now Enzo Maresca after 18 months. So for me, it's a shambles what's going on. At some point, we have to get it right. Clearly, something is not working. When you keep chopping and changing, something is not working. All those managers have come out and they've complained before getting fired.
Yep.
They've all said the same thing
Yep.
before getting fired. So clearly something at the top is not working. When you have managers that want to do well, that want to improve the squad, that they see that they put in everything that they have into the team, to make the team better, to compete. And when their hands are constantly being tied, it's difficult for those managers to work. It's difficult for those young managers to work. Trying to compete with this young squad that they have is so difficult. And I hope that at some point, those owners can now say, you know what? We need to free up these managers because we want to win trophies. And that's what we need to get, because the fans are not happy right now. Our fans are not happy right now with what's happening at the football club. We're not happy. At some point, Chelsea Football Club has to start winning again. And now I think with what has happened now with the sacking of Enzo Maresca, we've taken 1 step forward and we've taken 5 steps backwards.
Yes.
Because he's going to come in now and trying to change the whole thing. The whole fucking system is going to be changed. How he wants the players to play. He's going to start coaching them differently. Start putting different ideas in their head compared to what Enzo Maresca wants them. Because we were building something. We were on the right track. On the pitch, yes, I could see that because there was an identity of how we played, how we won the big games. There was an identity. You can see it. We were competing to win games. But we've taken 5 steps backwards now. And this is going to push us way, way backwards, because I see us now to compete again to win the trophy. It's another 4 or 5 years. City are going to get better next season. Arsenal, if they win this season, they're going to get better. Liverpool are going to get better.
Yeah.
Spurs, they're not going to get any worse. So these teams will get better. How do we get better? How do we get better? How does Liam Rosenior manage this squad to not lose that dressing room? To not lose the likes of Cole Palmer, the likes of Enzo Fernandez, the likes of Caicedo. These are your spine. You need that spine to be happy with you. You need to drag them along with you. And if he doesn't manage to do that, he's going to fucking lose that dressing room. And it's all going to end before you know it.
Not only the dressing room, is there a risk of these players have signed up to this project, we call it. If they're now seeing managers being changed every 18 months, are they going to be looking at, well, I'm not waiting another 2 years, 3 years before I can start winning the title?
To start winning the title again, because they're going to be thinking that. Enzo Fernandez, he's a World Cup winner. I'm sure he wants to win the Premier League. Caicedo, fantastic player, one of the best midfielders right now in the Premier League, in the world. He wants to win the Premier League. So they're going to be thinking, what's going on here? You know, they're chopping and changing managers here and there, left, right, and center. And my future is just up and down, up and down. I don't know what's going on. At some point, I'm going to have to think about my career because I want to win stuff. I don't want to be waiting for this 5-6 year project.
Which is
we were close. We were close with Enzo Maresca. We were getting closer and closer. 2-3 more experienced players, top players, could have seen us get there. Get there. We were close. Now, change of manager. Starting from one. It's a shambles. At some point, we have to stop, look at ourselves, and do what's right for the football club. Do what's right for the players, for the fans, which is winning trophies. Which is winning. Not profits. I can understand that. Every investor wants to win, wants to make profits. I get it. But never forget the priority, the number one priority of the football club, the culture, which is winning, which is competing. You have to compete. Chelsea Football Club has always competed. Roman Abramovich built a machine of a football club that won and won and won. It's been a long time since he sold the football club. And we keep scrambling and going from right to left and not knowing the way forward. We have to find the way forward because the fans are crying out for it. The players deserve it. Loads of talented, young, fantastic players we have. You need to build a team. You need time. You need a manager that you could give in time. And Enzo, for me, Maresca, was that guy. The passion he had for the team, for those players. He absolutely loved the players. Twice we saw him, when we scored a goal, running down to celebrate with the players, on the corner flag with the fans. That's what we wanted to see. Enzo Maresca being there, celebrating with the players, with the fans, building that connection with the players and the fans. He's starting to do that. We were in the right direction.
And now you said,
and now he's gone.
Back.
And now we're taking 5 steps backwards. So, honestly, it's a shame what's going on. We have to, at some point, find a way. I met the guys. I spoke to them. Paul Winstanley, had a chat with him. Sounds to me like a guy who loves the football club and who wants to see the football club do well. Had a chat with the owner. They seem to me like they want to see, but you can't say something and do the other thing, because when you start chopping and changing and doing all these things, it doesn't look right. It doesn't fit the football club. At some point, they have to find a way of getting the club, the football club, back to where it belongs.
Sounds like Liam Rosenior has got your backing, but he might not be the man to take you where you want to be right now, and he's going to need time.
He needs time. Absolutely needs time. Yes, he's a brilliant young coach from what I've heard. I don't know the guy. But from what I've heard, he's a brilliant young coach. He can coach. Now, there's a difference of coaching and managing a dressing room, especially a dressing room that's not happy that the manager's left. It's tough. I've been there. I've been there. When José Mourinho left, we were not happy. Nobody was happy. And any manager that was coming in, fuck no, you were not carrying us along with you. Because we were not happy. It takes time for that manager. If that manager is very, very experienced, he can get us to come on his side. But it's how does he do it? Because the experienced managers will find a way. They know how to get the players on their side. And his inexperienced manager doesn't have that. But luckily enough right now, he doesn't have the dressing room that we have back in the day. He doesn't. Right now, he's got those kids. He's got those young players. It might benefit
him that he's got a young squad.
He's got a young squad.
Not you monsters who are winners and leaders and captains. And
Exactly. Not the gangsters that we had. Not all of that. You know, players with the ego, you know, the Michael Bag, the Shevchenko, the Didier Drogba, the John Terrys, you know, the Frank Lampard, Ashley Cole, Makelele, all these guys, you know, the ego, Michael Essien. The egos that we had, you know, the Decos, the Joe Cole, and all of these guys, the ego, they want to play. I was the youngest. Me and Solomon Kalou, we were the youngest. It was full of top players. And I watched them struggle, fight with each other, with their egos, with managers, square up to managers, stand up to managers, to coaches.
You got to give us examples.
I'm not mentioning names. But they've all done it because they weren't happy. They want to play.
Well, John Terry.
So how does the manager manage all that when you have 15, 20 players who all want to play? It's tough. It's difficult. But the only thing he has right now, he has those kids. He can be able to manage those kids. But he needs to do that pretty quickly. And he needs to get them on his side. Because if he doesn't do that, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. But I like what I've heard from the guy. I think, you know, I heard him speak. He's very passionate. He loves his job. And this is a massive opportunity for him. And I hope he does well. I really hope he does well. You know, if he comes in and start winning games, that's all he needs to do. Then he will get the fans on his side. He needs to win games. He needs to hit the ground running straight away. There is no tie. Because if we lose a few more games, we are fucking in the relegation battle. And that's the last thing he wants to do. After two games, we find ourselves in a relegation battle. And in the Premier League, when you find yourself there, it's very difficult to get yourself out of it. So we need to start winning games. He needs to hit the ground running straight away. And I hope he does that because, you know, a black young manager who's coming and giving a massive opportunity, listen, I have to support him. We all have to support him. Give him the chance to prove himself, and I hope he does well.
Another club in a similar position, one of your former clubs, Manchester United, Ruben Amorim. What's your thoughts on that? Seemed to just fall apart very quickly. You could kind of see the Maresca one happening, but Amorim, it just went like that. And he had backing 3 months ago.
Yeah.
They came out and backed him. What's your thoughts?
3 months ago, I mean, Jim Ratcliffe came out and say, oh, yes, it's going to be a 3-year project. I'm giving him 3 years. I'm not going to sack him. I'm not listening to all of you journalists, all of you pundits, all of you podcasters, whatever he called everybody, and say, you know what? He's a 3-year contract. Fuck no. He gave him 3 months. That's what he gave him. He gave him absolutely 3 months. But yes, Maresca one, we can see the cracks, you know, starting to crack. But Ruben Amorim was that. It was quick. He came out, made that statement, made that press conference, and it was quick. They were swift to like get rid of him. I mean, I never saw that coming. They were fifth in the table.
Yeah, results weren't great
Results
recently, but they weren't
great.
He
terrible. Has
terrible.
players away from the African Cup of Nations. He has injuries, and he still managed to keep them in 4th or 5th position right now. Incredible that they get rid of him. You know, the squad that he has, those players that he has, and to be able to keep them right now in the Premier League in 5th position, it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle. Yes, they did bring in few good players in the transfer window, but that's it. That's it. That's all they have. Manchester United, from their midfield to the back line to the goalkeeper, they're not good enough. Yes, they brought in attackers, they brought in strikers, they brought in players they can threaten, they can run behind, that have good in scoring goals. Mbeumo, I think, is going to be fantastic. Sheshko need a bit of time. Cunha, you can see, is fantastic. Mason Mount coming back to his fitness. Of course, the captain, Enzo Fernandez, fantastic player. The leader, the captain, the man that makes everything tick for Manchester United. The creator, the guy who creates everything for them also. But apart from that, the rest of them are not good enough. And Ruben Amorim has managed to keep them in 5th position. That is a fucking miracle.
Under incredible pressure.
Under incredible pressure as well. You know, the guy, every time you see him on the touchline, he's wiggling his head. He's like, oh my God, what have I signed up to? And to manage to keep them in 5th position, it's incredible. And for them to get rid of him, it's just madness. It's just madness. It's madness to see these young, talented coaches getting fired right, left, and center. It's because of these owners, American owners that don't know too much about football. What it takes to run a football club. Not American football, our English football. They have absolutely no idea. They keep hiring these young, fantastic coaches and get rid of them after 1 year, 2 years. It's honestly, it's a shambles. So for me, what happened with Ruben Amorim is just a disgrace. And, you know, Manchester United is one of those clubs you can put alongside Real Madrid and Barcelona the way it's been run. The Glazers, they own the football club. Jim Ratcliffe is got what, 20-30% of the club. Yeah. The club is being flogged around in stock exchange in America every week in, week out. Everything is shambles what's going on at a football club. They're just there for the money. And when something happens, the results start going wrong, they fire the manager. They get rid of the manager straight away. It's way deep what's happening in Manchester United than we see on the pitch. It's way deeper than that. Way deeper than that. The club has been run very, very poorly. You know, they got rid of staffs. They took away Sir Alex Ferguson's title, ambassador, whatever he was getting. Getting rid of people right, left, and center. Cutting staffs. People who's been there at the football club for so many years, that have given so many years for the football club. The kitchen staff, the cleaners. Sometimes it's not just about the players. It's about the people that surrounds the football club, surrounds the players. We used to be very close to our kit man. He comes in, 5-10 minutes, makes jokes with everybody, cracks a joke, we play around with him, we have a little fight. These are the things that the atmosphere.
Of course.
It brings good positivity around the training ground. If you start getting rid of all these people that's been there a long time ago, it's a shame. You know, and what these managers need to understand as well, these coaches, when they sign up to this, they need to understand what they've signed up for. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. If you signed up for it, you signed up for it. It's not going to be easy. So you have to make do with what you have. You have to be part of the team, behind the team. That's how it is right now. It's a whole package. It's not you alone anymore, the manager. No. The coaches now, they have to be behind the team that is behind the team for everything to work perfectly well. And when that is not working, there's friction. And when there's friction, there's only one person that's going to take the blame, is the manager, and he has to go.
They seem to, obviously both managers have gone pretty close together in the past week. Chelsea have obviously groomed Rafinha and have plugged him in straight away. Man United seem to have bought themselves some time, putting Darren Fletcher in for a few games. And it looks like there's going to be an interim manager for the next few months. Is that them taking stock to go and try and find, the best in class, to go back to the old Manchester United ways of looking at a Zidane, a Xavi, a Tuchel when his contract's up?
They're not going to get a manager that they will get a manager that they can control. They will get a coach. They're not going to get a manager. They'll get a coach that they can control and manipulate. The same at Chelsea. They will absolutely get a manager. Manchester United will go get a coach that they can control. Because that's what happened with Ruben Amorim. He came out and said, I'm a coach, and I'm a manager. I'm not just a coach, I'm a manager. But when he signed the contract, he was a coach. And he came out and made a press conference and said, I'm not a coach anymore, I'm a manager. And that's what got him fired. Because once you stop elevating yourself to that manager role, they don't want that, you're gone. They don't want to hear you say you're manager. You're coach, you're here, stay here, don't go there. They're not going to get a manager, they're going to get a coach. Somebody that's going to be, in charge of just coaching and bringing the best out of the players. So I don't know who Manchester United are going to go for, but Tuchel is not going to be a yes man kind of guy. Tuchel is not a yes man kind of guy. So forget about Tuchel. He's not going to go to Manchester United. If he's going to go there, he has to be in charge. He has to be a manager in charge of everything. The players that come in, the players that go out. They're not going to give him that. Jason Wilco, whatever his name is, he's not going to give him that. Jim Ratcliffe is not going to give him that. So forget about that. Tuchel is not going to go there. I don't know who they're going to go for. Now they're talking about bringing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, going back to what they've done before. It's a mess. It's an absolutely mess. Going back to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, going back to now Darren Fletcher or Michael Carrick. Are you going to bring in Roy Keane there? Nope. Nope. I'd love to see it. He's going to punch the fuck out of one of them. So Roy Keane is not going to go there and be a yes man kind of guy. He's not. He's Roy Keane. He's not going to go there and be a yes man kind of guy. They're not going to take him. They will take somebody that's not going to question them. Somebody who can stand up against them when things are going wrong. So I don't know where Manchester United go from here, honestly. Which manager, which coach is out there now for them to go for? Which? Tuchel is the name, but Tuchel is not going to go there unless he is the guy that makes the decisions, and they're not going to give him that.
Well, the two in the Premier League at the moment would be Glasner, who's done an amazing job. Emery, his name's been mentioned. You know, unbelievable what he's doing at Aston Villa.
Unai Emery, yeah. Unai Emery.
Manager.
Listen, Unai Emery is not going there. Do you know what Aston Villa is called right now? The Unai Emery FC, that's what it's called. The Unai Emery FC, that's what it's called. He's got a stronghold of everything that's happening at the football club. He is in charge. Unai Emery is in charge of everything that happens at the football club. Who comes in, who goes out, the staff, everything Unai Emery hires. He's in charge of it. Absolutely runs the football club with an iron fist. That's what he does. So he's not going to leave all that where he has the flexibility, the power to run a football club and leave that and go to Manchester United where they're going to tell him and manipulate him and tell him what to do. Unai Emery is not going to do that. He's such a brilliant, brilliant manager. And you're talking about Aston Villa. They're on the ascendance right now. They're way better than Manchester United. So why is he going to leave the project that he's building? They're competing to win the Premier League, right? Why will he leave all that, give all that up and go to a struggling Manchester United that don't know their left and right and center?
But isn't it a shame that you're talking about Manchester United and Chelsea like this, where the blueprint of how a manager should run a football club is what Aston Villa are doing right now?
Exactly. That's what it used to be back in the day. And Mourinho had all the say at Chelsea. Carlo Ancelotti had all the say. The players are coming. Yes, of course they do consult with the sporting directors, the owners, but they have the final say. I know I don't want that player. No, I don't think this player is good, suits what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Yes, maybe the owner might have a say or one or two players, but the managers have maybe 60, 70, 80% of the players that come in and goes out. That's how it used to be. Now these owners are solely, the owners and the sporting directors, they decide with the fucking data that they have, that they think data is football. It's way too many data, way too much data right now. Club signing players just from data. That's absolutely nonsense. And they believe in that. And that's why when they see those datas, they just sign the player. Not thinking, is he going to be good for this manager? Is he going to be good for the project? Does the manager like the player? Because he's going to coach that player and bring out the best out of him. So it's just a shamble what's happening right now. And I just think that Unai Emery is not going to give all that up and go to struggling Manchester United right now, because he's building a fantastic squad at Aston Villa. The team that he has, they're playing really well. They're full of confidence. They have so much belief that they can beat anyone. And they're just on a high. He can't give all that up and go to Man. It doesn't matter what they offer him right now. Maybe come the end of the season. Maybe. But right now, I don't think he's going to give all that up and go to Manchester United.
Chelsea, we've done. Manchester United, we've done. Yeah. We could talk about a million different things going on in the world of football. We have to talk about Nigeria. You were on this podcast very fearful, or, the qualification for the World Cup was a disaster. How do you reflect on, the progress in the tournament so far? Quarterfinals, Algeria is the next game. Happy, content?
Happy, yeah, the way we've played. We've won games. We've won games pretty convincingly. We managed to keep a clean sheet in the last game, round of 16, which is good because so far we've conceded goals. I think defensively, I think overall we've been good. You know, I give the guys credit. You know, overall the team, the Nigerian team, we've been good in this tournament. We've played well. The goalkeeper has been good. The defense has been great, but we just conceded 1 or 2 goals right here and there, which is not good. We should be keeping clean sheets, which we did in the last game. So fantastic team performance. I'm really happy with the way the team is playing. I'm happy with what I see on the pitch. The fluidity of the team, the connection between the defense, the midfield, and the attack. Everything just seems to be going really, really well. And I'm so proud of the players with what they've done and what we've achieved so far. But there's so much still to play for. You know, right now we're in the quarterfinals. If we win that, semifinals, and it will be brilliant, absolutely fantastic to see us in the final again. But again, I hope we win it. And I just hope that makes up a little bit of the disappointment of not qualifying for the World Cup twice in a row. I hope we win it. Maybe that's going to make up a little bit, to give the fans a little bit of joy, a little bit of satisfaction that we've gone in and win the AFCON. But I just still think, from my point of view, still a disaster that we didn't qualify for the World Cup. Massive disaster, because we have fantastic squad. We can see that right now, that we're not going to be in the World Cup twice in a row. It's just a disaster. For me, it's a massive disaster. It's a failure. But right now, what we're doing in the AFCON is absolutely fantastic. Credit to the manager, credit to the staff, credit to the players. I can see the fighting spirit that they're giving. I can see everybody working together to make sure that we win games, that we compete, that we get to the final and win the trophy, which is what we have to do. Because if you look at the teams right now that are there, yes, Senegal are very good. Egypt are very good. Morocco look like they're absolutely on fire. Algeria, next game that we're going to play, I think. So they look really, really good. It's going to be tough. This is now where the tournament starts. This is where it gets tough. I have to see how we cope with how we go from here. Yes, we've qualified pretty easily. Make it to the round of 16, convincing win, 4-0. And now the business end of the tournament is now.
You were crying out at the start of the tournament for Victor to step up, to score goals. He's done that. But we have to talk about that penalty incident. What was your thoughts on that? Is that frustration? Is that passion? Where do you sit on that incident?
Oh, you mean when he had a fight with Lookman?
Yeah.
Listen, one thing we need to understand about Victor, you know, Victor Osimhen is a fantastic young player, talented player. A player that wears his heart on his sleeve, plays like a warrior, fights, runs, plays in Turkey now. That's what they want to see, how they want to see their players play, like a warrior. You have to fight on the pitch. If you do that, they give you anything you want. You have to show that you want to fight for the team. You're like a warrior. You're angry on the pitch. You want to give everything. And that's how Victor plays from anyways. And Victor is a guy that wears his heart on his sleeve. He plays the way you see him. He fights, he gets angry on the pitch, he fights with the defenders, he gets the best out of himself by doing that. And I can understand his frustration. As a striker, you've scored 2 goals, you want to get a hat-trick. Every striker want to get a hat-trick. Strikers, when they score a hat-trick, they're happy. And Victor is that guy that wins us games. Victor is that guy that scores the goals. Victor is that guy that makes us play well. When he plays, we play well, because not just what he does with the ball, what he does off the ball as well. We have to give him credit for that. Massive credit. Now, this incident that happened, I've been there. We've all been there. Tensions fly, you know, emotions are running high in the game. You want to, as a striker, you want to score a hat-trick. And you get frustrated when your teammates don't pass you the ball, especially when you're in a very good position to get the ball and score a hat-trick. Now I understand the frustration. I get where he's coming from. And you know what? I like the fact that they both had an argument on the pitch. I like that they had a fight on the pitch. I want to see that. It's been a long time I haven't seen that with the national team. Everybody's fucking too nice with each other. They want to hold each other's hands. They want to put you on they want to give you a blanket to lie down and say, oh, fuck that shit. I want to see us get back to where we get angry with each other. We pull each other around. We scream at each other. We hold each other around the neck and say, do your fucking job. That's how we succeed. I've never seen a nice team that wins trophy. Mourinho always says that. You want to be nice? Go play for fucking Arsenal or Tottenham. We're Chelsea Football Club. We're not nice. We're nasty. And we win trophies like that. I want to see you guys fight each other on the pitch. I used to do that a lot with John Terry, Frank Lampard, all of that. We used to fight on the pitch, emotions on the high, tension is flying high. Everybody's scrambling where you're looking around and thinking, we need to win this game. We're all focused on winning, achieving the goal, which is winning. You don't win by being nice to each other. You win by being nasty with each other. On the pitch, outside on the pitch, we make up with friends. We go for a drink, we go for dinners, we go for lunches. And whatever happens on the pitch, we forget about it. So I like to see that fight. I enjoy what I saw. It's been a long time I haven't seen that nastiness from the national team. I like to see more of that, players screaming and fighting with each other and saying, do your fucking job. I want to see us win. I want to see us win trophies because that's who we are. We have to be nasty to win. We're not a nice team. We're a nasty team. We will have to win. I want to see that. Now, the only thing that I don't like with Victor's a smart boy. He's a smart kid. And he knows, I'll be the first to tell him. He knows when he makes mistake. He's a humble kid. He's a very nice kid. But he plays the way he plays. And I don't want to see that taken away from him the way he plays, the way he fights on the pitch, the aggressivity that he has on the pitch, the warriorness he has on the pitch, that he fights like a lion. I like to see that. I want him to keep that. Don't take that away from Victor. You take that away from Victor, you don't get the best out of him. But you have to control him. You have to manage him. He knows. He's the first to say, you know what? The part that I didn't like about the whole situation is the afters. The afters that he stopped playing, he stopped running and making effort. That part I don't like. I'll be the first to tell him. He knows. If he knows and he will look back and say, you know what? Okay, that part, maybe I crossed the line. The part where he stood up after the game and walked straight into the dressing room, that part, he will be the first to say, you know what, I fucked up. It's always about the team. It's always about the country. Nobody, make no mistake about that. Football club, national team, no single person is bigger than a football club or a national team. We all come and we all fucking go. The club, the national team remains. Jejo, Kocha, Kanu, myself, we all came, we all left. The national team is still there. The badge is still there. We have to respect it. And I know Victor respects the badge. He's a humble kid. He's given so much to the national team. And let's all not forget about everything that he's done and jump straight onto the negatives and say, oh, is this, is that, is this. Everybody straight away jumping and blaming and criticizing the kid. He's done so much for us. Absolutely so much. And he's still doing. He's a fantastic player. He's our main man. So, he knows that. The afters, I don't like. What happened after the whole incident, I don't like. But do I like to see that incident more and more? Players fighting on the pitch? I love to see that. But the afters, you have to shake hands and say, you know what?
It's done when it's in the dressing room.
It's done in the dressing room. Let's move on. Next game. There's so much to play for. There's so much we can achieve. Let this not distract us. Let this not be what pulls us down, because the last thing we want to see is our two best players in the team not talking to each other. Friction between both of them. All the players sitting around looking at both of them, not speaking to each other. That is what is going to pull us down. That is what is going to affect us. So the manager has to manage this. The manager needs to get on top of it pretty quickly. Make sure he sorts it out. And credit to Lookman, I must say, came out after the game and said, you know what? It's football. It happens. Victor is his brother. I like that from him. It shows maturity. And Victor also is a matured guy. And I'm sure they will sort this out, both of them, and then we move on from it, because we have a massive game coming up. We have a massive game coming up. So the manager needs to make sure he finds a way of sorting this out, because you don't want your two superstars, your two African Player of the Year winners to be fighting each other in the squad, because that's what's gonna pull us down, and that's what's gonna affect us, and that's what's gonna make us. That's what's gonna, if we not win this, that's probably what's gonna kill us. So I like what I see, I enjoy what I see, but Victor is a humble kid, he's a humble guy. Don't take that bite, don't take that away from him. I know Nigerians saying, oh yeah, he's swag. No. Do not take that away from Victor. You take that away from Victor, you don't get the best out of him. So I like to see more of that. I like to see the players argue, fight. But knowing that there's a much bigger thing to achieve than both of us. Fight on the pitch, make up after. Move on. When we won the AFCON, I'll tell you a story. Victor Moses was my roommate. Now, we know Victor. When he gets the ball, he likes to go and dribble and all that, and creations, which is absolutely fantastic for us, Victor. Couple of times he's gone to square it and somebody has a shot. Victor, no, he wants to shoot. I get it, he wants to score. Then I went on him, I say, listen, you have to fucking pass the ball. You have to pass the ball. He said, no. I said, no, don't. You have to fucking pass the ball, because if somebody's pretty much open, we have to win here, Victor. We have to win. It's not about you. We have to fucking win. And we had an argument.
In your room?
No, on the pitch. So after the game, he was still having he was still angry from what happened. We went into the room. For hours, we slept. We didn't speak to each other. We were walking past each other in the room. We didn't say anything to each other. We woke up the next morning, didn't say anything to each other. But then after, we thought, fuck it. There's much bigger things here. We spoke to each other, we move on. So these things happen, but you have to deal with it. So I like what I see, and I hope we can go on to winning this title, because I think they both deserve it. You know, Victor Osimhen is a brilliant player, and Ademola Lookman has been absolutely fantastic for us as well.
I can't believe the captain doesn't get his own room.
No, I wasn't the captain then.
No, okay.
I think Vincent Iyama, José Yobo was the captain. Yeah. So the captain gets his room, but I wasn't the captain then. So I used to share a room with Victor Moses.
Last one from me. You've answered that. Obviously, you want to see Nigeria win this.
Yeah.
Deep down, do you think they can? There's some huge teams left in this tournament. What's your thoughts on how far this team can go?
Again, it's how we go. Where do we go from here now? Because the easy part is done. The easy part, which is coming out from that group, because I looked at that group anyways. I knew we were going to come out of it pretty comfortable, which is what we did. You know, round of 16 was Mozambique. I think it was absolutely shocking. They were awful. We won the game 4-0. And now I think this is the business end of the tournament. This is where it gets tougher. This is where it gets more and more difficult. The games are much, much difficult because you're playing against much better players. So I want to see how we go from here. And I hope that friction that happened has been settled. The managers found a way, and the players they found a way of settling that, because that's a massive thing. If that's not settled, if Victor Osimhen is not happy, if Ademola Lookman are not happy, go into the next game, you're going to see that's going to affect us. That's going to affect the team, because when your two best players are not talking to each other, are not playing with each other, that's going to make a massive, massive difference the way we're going to approach this game. So that needs to be sorted out. The manager needs to sort that out. The federation, whatever they have to do, get both of them in a room, lock both of them in a room, and make sure they sort it out. That's what I'll do.
But going back to the chat about managers earlier, that can also galvanise the team. The manager manages that in the right way. You can utilise that, and that's your basis to go and kick on in the tournament as well.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know this manager. I don't know how he is going to handle that situation. Now, is it a manager that can be able to talk to Victor Osimhen and he listens? I don't know. That's where you need top managers. Managers that when they talk, you listen. If you bring in an inexperienced manager that they're thinking, the fuck is this? You know, they're not going to listen. But I know that the Victor Osimhen that I know, whatever has happened on that pitch is done. He's moved on from it. He's going to go squash the beef with Ademola Lookman. They're going to sort it out. They're going to settle it. And I think both of them are right now in a good place for the next game. So we have to win the next game. We have to win. We have to make sure we come out, approach the game the right way, because it's going to be a very, very difficult game against Algeria. I've watched them play a couple of times. They're a very, very good team. They play as a team. They're very aggressive. They've got good players, quality players. So we have to be on our A game. We have to make sure we approach the game the right way. There shouldn't be any hindrance, any distraction, any negativity. So we have to make sure we sort out any negativity that's going to happen. Are the players being paid their bonuses, whatever they've been promised, it needs to be sorted out before this game. There shouldn't be any negativity around the camp. So I believe we can go all the way. I believe we can go all the way and win it. And of course, I like to see us win it. I like to see Victor Osimhen win the highest goal scorer, because I think he deserves it. Ademola Lookman as well, playing really, really well. Both of them absolutely on fire. Alex Iwobi, I must say as well, in this tournament has been absolutely fantastic. I've been waiting for this from Alex Iwobi for a long, long time. Finally, we can see the Alex Iwobi that we all know, playing well, everything going through him, creating chances, those passes, playing and fighting. Of course, Ndidi as well, the captain as well, the mainstay of the team, the guy who keeps the balance and everything. So everything is working perfectly well, for the team. But we have to go on now. We have to go on now and make sure we win the tournament.
A very different take in the Mikel today. There was about 3 to 4 episodes of content in this, but we made it through. Chris is back next week. But yeah, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, we'll be back next week. And all of you guys criticizing Victor Osimhen, lay off the guy. Let him play the way he is. He is who he is. He is a warrior. He is a lion. And yes, the afters I don't like. He knows exactly what he has to do. And I just want to see us a bit more of that fight between players. I love to see that. We have to be nasty with each other on the pitch, and that's what's going to make us successful. So yes, a fantastic, fantastic tournament so far. We have to go on and win it now. But yeah, as you said, hopefully Chris comes back from his...
We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, amazing. So thank you guys. And yeah, made possible by BetWinner.
As always, cheers, John.